Alright, for some reason the recordings are not wanting to cooperate with me. Is what it is, that's fine, we'll figure it out later. But I'm going to try to record on my phone, and we'll see if that works out whatsoever. Anybody that's in here for group 2, thank you guys so much for logging in at your correct time. We're just going to do a quick overview about place value. If you already started watching the video or working on the MobyMax, thank you so much. It is just to get you thinking about exponents and all that again. So on your keyboard, I want you guys to find what I'm typing. I am typing 10, a little arrow that goes up, and an exponent of 2. Excuse me. So look on your keyboard and type what I just typed in the chat. I want you to be able to find that. For me, the arrow is on the 6 key. And so you'd hit Shift 6.
Hey, Miss Allen.
What's up?
I forgot. Was Group 2 supposed to come at 11:20 or 11:40?
11:20.
Okay. Sorry that I'm late.
No, you're fine, sweetie. You're doing a great job.
Alright.
We're just getting started.
When I had to feed my dogs.
No, it's totally fine. Alright, so what we're looking for is that exponent. Way to be able to show that is the arrow. So 10, Shift key, 6, and then this 2. I need everybody to try and find that on their keyboard and be able to type that. Good, Marley. Good, Daniel. Awesome. Okay, because in just a second, we're going to go over some example problems. So I want to make sure that you know where that little key is. All right, so these are review weeks, so we're not going to be talking about a new math standard just yet. We've actually talked about powers of 10 2 different times this school year. We did it at the very beginning of the year with place value, and then we also did it when we were talking about multiplying and dividing decimals. So we're really more so reviewing it for the decimal stuff, but just to review for you, we are going to look at the patterns real quick. Okay. If you do have your math notebook, awesome. If you don't, it's also okay. But we had a chart in our math notebook. It was on purple paper that looks something like this. Oops. Okay. And it was supposed to show the patterns. For example, 10 to the second power, which is what you guys typed in. It's just when you type it, the way that you show that that little 2 is small is by putting that arrow. What that actually means is 10 multiplied by itself this many times. So 2 10s multiplied together, and the answer there is 100. Okay. If we continued the pattern and did 10 to the third, there would be 3 10s multiplied together. And then that answer would be 1,000. Another thing that's part of the pattern is that your exponent tells you how many zeros you need in your answer. For example, the top one has 2, so there are 2 zeros. Okay, the second one has 3, and there are 3 zeros. If I continue the pattern out, just kind of gets to be a lot to write, but I would have 4 zeros. Okay, so hopefully we remember doing this and talking about this. If you've already started the MobyMax, then you know that the problems require you to understand this, but then also you need to know about multiplying and dividing using these larger numbers. So let's look at a few example problems. Okay. Let's come up to this first one. Okay, if y'all will look at the number 1 card, you can answer in the chat for me using that arrow. It says, write the number in exponential form, 1 million. So what I want you to do is do 10, that little arrow that you've been using, and then count the number of zeros in 1 million. And then that's going to be your answer. Good, Brady. Good, Molly. Yep, 10 to the 6th. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, look at number 2. And how would you write that? Good. This one's 10 to the 5th because there's 5 zeros. Okay. Now this one goes the reverse way. Okay. It's giving you 10 with an exponent of 3. So I want you to make a 1 followed by 3 zeros. Good job, Molly. Good, Marley. 1,000. Awesome. Okay. Do this one. 10 to the 5th. So do your 1 followed by 5 zeros. Good, Molly. Good, Nolan. Good, Taylor. Awesome. All right, great job, guys. So now we're going to apply these exponents to some multiplication. Okay, so let's actually skip to this one. Okay, this one is 9.762 or 9 762 thousandths times 10 to the 3rd. Now, one thing we need to remember is whenever you're multiplying and dividing by an exponent that has the power of 10, you're actually not needing to know any math facts. You just need to know where to move your decimal. And so we wrote this in our notebook, but if you multiply by a power of 10, you're going to move the decimal to the right. This many spaces according to your exponent. If you are dividing by a power of 10, you are going to move your decimal to the left. That many spaces according to your exponent. So let's do this one. I'm going to take it over here to paint. Okay. And let me just trim off this extra stuff. Okay. So I just reviewed. Very good, Marley. I'm moving. Good, Brady. Good, Molly. That I'm moving to the right according to my exponent. So my exponent is 3. So that means I'm going 3 spaces to the right. So 1, 2, 3. I get rid of that decimal right there. It's not there anymore. It's actually just right there after the 2. And so 9,762 is your answer. Or you can write it like some of you guys did where you put your 0.0. Remember that 0.0 isn't going to change the value of the whole number. So either way. All right, you guys are awesome. Good job. Let's look at another one. Okay. So this one, they don't have the 100,000 written as an exponent. However, you can look and count the number of zeros to figure out how many spaces to move it. Right. That is 10 to the 5th. Very good, Molly. So I'm going to come back over here so that we can work this one out. But you're absolutely right. That's 10 to the 5th. So I'm going to need to move 5 spaces. Now, with my number of 78, I don't have a decimal right at this very second. And so I'm going to think about it as 78.0, right? Because any whole number can have that 0.0 after it. And then worry about my 5 spaces. Okay, so I'm going to go 1 to the right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take that away. Put it right there. And then think, what is the only digit that I can use as a placeholder? That's right, Molly. Zeros. So I'm going to then fill those spots in. Now, that's going to give me a really big number. Okay? I have 78 followed by 5 zeros. That's big. Okay, that's, let's see. Let me put in a comma so I can understand this number. 7,800,000. Yeah. So that's pretty big. But when you look at it, you see why. You know, that's a pretty big number that we are multiplying by. Okay, let's do another one. Y'all are doing great. Okay, look at this one. This is division. And so I'm going to have to move that decimal to the left. I'm going to be moving my decimal to the left, so opposite direction, 4 spaces. All right, we got a couple different ideas. Anybody else in the group want to take a try? So I have 3 different answers. I will say one of y'all is right. So that's good. And y'all are all, if you're not right, you're really close. Anybody else want to try it? All right, so we need to go 4 spaces to the left. So 1 space, 2 spaces, 3 spaces, 4 spaces. So my decimal is going to be right here. And I have 1 empty spot right there. I do not need that one anymore. And so my answer is actually going to be 0 point, which if you didn't write that, like Brady, you actually got this right, but you didn't put the 0 right there, that's fine. 0.09223. Okay, yeah, good job, Brady. Okay, the biggest thing right here is remembering that when you divide, you go to the left, and if you multiply, you're moving the decimal to the right. Let's look. I think we have time for about one more. Okay, let's do this one. 301 divided by 10 to the 5th. So think about, there's no decimal written. So imagine it, use your scratch paper, put a decimal right here. Then move over to the left, 5 spaces, filling in any empty spaces with placeholder zeros. Molly Harper's got an answer. Marley's got the same answer. Brady's got the same answer. Good. And all 3 of you are right. Very good job. Okay. Because all we're doing is pretending that there's a decimal. Oops. Right here. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 0. Again, you can put that 0 in the ones place to make it stand out. Good, Carly. Very good job. So again, if you have not started the MobyMax yet, that's what is in the MobyMax, is multiplying and dividing by these different exponents. Sometimes they're written like this. Sometimes they're written where you have to count the zeros. So just keep in mind, 10 to the 5th means the same thing as this. Okay, you just count the zeros. There's 5 zeros or 5 in your exponent. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and